Hello there, traders. We are back with a new video. What if we could trade in the market without considering which way the market would be going and still make a profit? And you never have to worry about any technical or fundamental analysis? Sounds interesting, right? Yes, today we are going to show you how grid trading works along with our FRZ Ultimate Grid Maker EA that you can use to automate the process. Let's get started. There can be many different ways of grid trading. The most basic grid system consists of placing buy pending orders above the current market price and sell pending orders below the current price at regular intervals. Each order is configured with a take profit equal to the distance between the different levels without any stop loss. The lot size would be the same for all trades. Now you can see we will have trades whichever way the market goes. But there is a risk. The price could go in one direction activating our pending orders, but the price may reverse without reaching the take profit of the last activated order. In this case, we may accumulate large, unrealized gains. Basic grid trading is more suitable for ranging markets. In a ranging market, the price fluctuates within a relatively narrow range without establishing a clear trend in either direction, and therefore you have a better chance to complete all orders on take profit. Furthermore, there are some ways and means that we can manage the risks, which we will discuss later in this video with our EA. The next common grid strategy is hedged grid trading. This strategy is strictly for ranging markets, and it should not be used in strongly trending markets. In hedged grid trading, we place both buy and sell orders at the same time at each grid level. Usually, we start with a buy and a sell at the starting price of the grid and then place pending orders for the required number of grid levels. No stop loss is used. The goal is to profit from the price differences between the buy and sell orders while minimizing the overall market exposure. Like in the basic grid type, this also comes with some risks. Look at the following scenario. This grid has 4 trades with 3 levels. After the final level, the price went in a strong uptrend up to the take profit level of the buy 4, and then it reversed back to level 3 where the grid was closed. Now look at the result. There are 4 profit trades, while there are 3 losing sell trades and 1 break-even sale. With the cumulative effect of the sell trades, the losses become 600 pips, while the profit is only 400 pips, giving us a 200 pip loss. On the other hand, look at this scenario with just 2 levels where the price turns after 2 levels. Now we have 2 wins and 1 losing sell and 1 break-even sell totaling a profit of 100 pips. You will notice that if the price gets into a strong trend, these hedged grid strategies become too risky due to trades with accumulating losses. We will also look at the risk mitigation methods with our EA later in this video. Now let's look at the third type of grid strategy. Unlike the previous 2 grid strategies, this grid strategy is a trend-following strategy, and therefore it can be either a bullish or bearish trend-following grid strategy. These are suitable for trending markets. Under this strategy, we enter the market in line with the trend and then add a grid in the trend's direction with no stop loss but take profit, which will be the same size as the grid space. So we trade only in one direction in this case. Here is an illustration of a bullish trend following grid. In this case, you will notice that we first open a buy trade after determining the trend is bullish and then add the required number of grid levels with pending orders. This strategy will be profitable as long as the price continues to go up to complete all the trades with take profit. However, the risk is that the price could turn and run the other way without going too far in the intended direction. And now you know the common grid trading strategies. Now it is time to introduce our FRZ Ultimate Grid Maker EA, which can create and manage all 3 types of grid strategies with many features and risk management methods. Now let's see how you can install and use our EA. First, place the EA file under the Experts folder and refresh or restart the EA. Then, under the MetaTrader options, make sure you have added the given URLs. Then you can simply add the EA to the chart and time frame of your choice. Let's look at the EA settings and features. The EA can create all 4 types of grids that we discussed. You can select the type of the grid under setting 1 from the basic, hedged, bullish trend grid and bearish trend grid. On setting number 2, you can select grid entry mode where you get 4 options. Option 1. Manual entry. In this case, you can click on the buttons given on the screen to start the grid at the time or price you like. Option 2. Specified price. Here you can set a specific price to create the grid automatically. Option 3. Specified time. Here you can set a time to create the grid automatically. For instance, if you want to start the grid when the London session opens, you can select this option and set the London open time in a later setting. Option 4. Indicator-based entry. Under this option, you can use an external indicator signal to start the grid. For instance, if you have an indicator that shows an arrow or similar signal for entries, you can use that indicator signal for starting the grid. Please note only the indicator's default settings can be used for this purpose. Under setting 3, you can set the trading volume per trade. Under setting 4 and 5, you can set the grid space in pips and the number of grid levels respectively. Then you get some entry filters. Under setting 6 and 7, you can enable and set the news filter as per your liking. Please note the news filter is not used in manual mode. Under settings 8, you may use the trend strength filter, which is a variant of the ADX indicator. Since the grid system's profitability could depend on the type of market, this can be a useful option. Higher trend strength means a more trending market, and lower trend strength means a ranging market. Usually, trend strength above 20 is considered trending, and less than 20 is considered to be ranging markets. For instance, if you are using the hedged grid system, then you would need a ranging market. So you can set the setting 11 as 20 or less so that the EA will not trade unless trend strength is lower than the given value. On the other hand, if you are using a trend-based grid system, you would want a trending market. In that case, you may set the setting 10 as 20 or more, then the EA will only start the grid if the trend strength is more than the given value. Also, on setting 10, you can also set the time frame to check this trend strength, if required. You need to set the time frame in minutes here, and 0 means the current time frame. For instance, assume you are setting up the grid on the M15 time frame, but you want to make sure the M30 chart is ranging or trending, then simply put 30 under setting 10. However, please note that MT4 does not allow backtesting with multiple timeframes, but you can use a different timeframe on live trading. However, MT5 allows backtesting with different timeframes. Now let's look at detailed settings for each grid entry mode. In case you selected the price level based entry, then you can set the price under setting 12. In case you selected the time-based entry, then you can set the time under setting 13. In case you selected an indicator-based entry, then you can add the indicator name, its buffer or color ID of the signal, the candle ID to watch, and the time frame for the indicator under settings 14 to 17. Color or buffer ID can be found under the Colors tab of the indicator settings. By default, the EA will look at the last completed candle for any entry signal, which you may increase if your indicator shows the signal later than the last candle. And now let's look at how you could manage risk with your grid. As we previously discussed, grids can be risky if the price is not behaving in the way you initially intended. These risk management options will allow the user to close the grid before all the orders are closed, by take profit if it appears the grid is not going to end in the way we intend, so that we can mitigate the risk. You can close the grid upon reaching a certain profit or loss level under setting 18 to 21. Then you get the option to close the grid if your account reaches a certain equity drawdown percentage under settings 22 and 23. Then you have the option to exit the grid at some specific time under settings 24 and 25. For instance, you can close the grid at the end of the day if you enable this and set the time to 23.59. And also, you have the option to close the grid based on an indicator signal. The indicator setup is similar to the entry indicator signal. You can simply add the indicator name, exit buffer number, candle ID to watch for the signal, and the time frame for the indicator under settings 26 to 30. And finally, you have the option to close the grid based on the age of the last open trade under setting 31 to 33. If a trade is going the other way and taking a lot of time while increasing drawdown, then it may be a better idea to exit the grid. You can simply enable this and then set the time in minutes. You also have the option to close the grid under this scenario only if the grid has at least reached a break-even level. Now we have learned about the settings, and let's run the EA. Let's see how you can manually create the EA. We are using the basic grid type with default lot size, space, and levels. Let's select the manual mode. Now simply click on the manual entry button. You will see that the grid is created as per the settings. You can also see important details of the grid in the left bottom corner of the screen. You can close the grid with the close button. Now let's see how we can create a trend-based grid where the entry is based on an indicator signal. We will be using this super arrow indicator for this test. For this video, we will use doing a backtest. What we want is to start a bullish trend-based grid when a bullish signal is generated by our indicator. As you can see, our buffer or color ID for the buy signal is 2, so we need to update this number under settings. Also, we need to select the bullish trend-based grid. For simplicity, let's keep the default grid levels, space, and lot size, and set the EA for the indicator. Now let's run the backtest. You will see that the EA opened a grid when the indicator provided a buy arrow. Likewise, you can create various types of grids and automate the process with our EA. It is available for both MT4 and MT5 with a free demo, and the download link is given in the description. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you around.